Barry Pruitt with Bristell Aviation. We're here in front of the BRM Aero Bristell. It's a fairly new airplane in the LSA game. Tell us a little bit about it.
This is a newest entry for us. We became the importer in September and debuted at the AOPA show at Summit in Hartford, Connecticut. We have two examples here in the country right now. I have two that will arrive next month and two that will arrive in March and two in April, as well as two in June, right now that we know we have sold. People have actually been coming to us. We have a little bit of a web presence with the newest things that we're all familiar with Facebook and Twitter, and we thought we'd try it out to see if it would save us some money and some time and really get the word out, and it has worked quite well for us. I've been involved with LSA since the beginning, 2004 and 2005, and then in 2006 I was with Evektor, and it wasn't like that then. It was very pushback. Nobody was really interested, just a couple people. Now there are a lot of people that are really seeing that the LSA is pretty much the savior of GA. They see that the light aviation is the only part of aviation that most people can afford to fly, and by bringing a premium product that's easy to maintain and easy to fly, it's fast, it's fun, and it's economical. So it really is the choice for a lot of people. We're also aiming at a market that's more associated with people who don't already fly. That's already been two of our buyers. They don't have their license yet. They're going to come to us and get their license. That's also something new for me. Usually it was always experienced guys either stepping down from a Bonanza or a Piper Cherokee or something like that, that they decided they wanted to go without a medical. These people can get medicals, but they're still buying new aircraft. And what it is, they're interested in a new high-quality aircraft that they can look at and go, okay, that's what I expect when I purchase an aircraft.
So you said you built this one, you and a team of guys, in about 10 days.
Yes, sir. I was more in a supervisory role at that time because although my crutches are off screen, I'm kind of limited right now. I had a bunch of great guys, from students of ours to local controllers coming in, and everybody was pitching in. It was really an exciting effort. It was one of those things, it was a near impossible task, and so everybody bid on. And without the help of everybody that was there was no way we could have done it. We also had the designer of the airplane there, a little guidance from him saying, this is the way you do this is the best way to do that. So we were learning, and this is really what this airplane was all about. It was a learning process for us to make sure we knew what we needed to have and the knowledge and skills we needed to have to properly support the airplane. So this was really a learning lab for us. Now that we've done it, now if somebody calls and they need support, I can tell them exactly where they need to go, exactly what they need to do, and how they repair it, and I can talk to any A&P and let them know exactly what they need to do to repair the aircraft.
Avidyne is the brand of choice for pilots who want innovative, easy-to-use avionics. And the new IFD 540 GPS Navcom sets a new standard for simplicity in communication and LPV navigation. As a slide-in replacement for existing 530 series navigators, and with a highly intuitive touchscreen control, the IFD 540 makes it much easier to access the information you want when you want it, reducing head-down time and making flying more enjoyable. Finally, you have a choice, and the choice is easy. Avidyne.
So this is a kit-built airplane.
This one is a kit-built airplane.
But do you also offer something that's a factory airplane?
Yes, our primary offering is a Special Light Sport factory built. We did this again as a learning curve. We might in the future talk about doing a assist build program. We have to get a lot of things set up. All the small details that you don't normally have time to do when you're coming ready for a show. There are a lot of guys out there that really want to be involved in the building of their airplane. Maybe not the building of the fuselage or a lot of the riveting, but they really want to be able to put all the systems in and know how it works and understand it. All of us there are either SLSA repairmen or A&P and pilots and CFIs. Everybody who comes in seems to have a good time. It brought the fun back. We were looking for something that we could do and we could bring to aviation, but we could all have a good time doing it. We found a designer who was, well proven. This is his 5th design. This was the NG5. The NG3 became the Sport Cruiser. NG4 was the Rocco, and NG5 is the Bristell. And they're still great airplanes. He just decided he wanted to come out and do something on his own that had met his vision of what he thought a sports car would be for aviation. BRM Aero, a little history about that. BRM, it was like BRM Racing. He loved as a child, and now it's a defunct racing organization. But it was something that was just, the style and the class that he wanted to go. But he also wanted simplicity. So if you notice on the panel, we tried to keep the panel as clean as we could by using existing products such as the composite design mini panel and the EFIS by TrueTrack with an integrated autopilot in it. We went with push button start instead of a key system. And then we also have an iPad mount we put in there. So we ran ForeFlight on the way down here, and it worked really well. Really impressed by having a 696 and ForeFlight next to each other, and both of them were great in different ways. So having both of them really readily available for the information for the flight was wonderful.
What was it that caused you to want to put that iPad mount in the airplane? I know that's one of the things that's really coming along in a lot of sectors of aviation, but it looks like you've almost designed this panel with that in mind from the start.
We did. We couldn't decide if we wanted to go with round dials or if we wanted to go with the EFIS system. We went with the engine information at the top to save the panel on this side so we could put the iPad in it, because so many of our students are coming in with the iPad. So you're looking at the guys that are new to the industry, and they're coming in and they already have all these toys, and they see a way to bring that in. And the price tag for it for them to have their own, that also means as a flight school I don't have to maintain that piece of equipment.
Welcome to the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Real-time 24/7 online audio and video programming, where aviation has been getting updated for over a decade. Distributing over 11,000 stories, features, audio, and video programs every year. Only ANN covers aviation and aerospace with this much depth, insight, and expertise. Check us out on the web at aero-news.net.
Let's talk a little bit about the performance specs on the airplane, how far, how fast, takeoff, roll, climb, those kinds of things, the basics on how the airplane performs.
Standard LSA, where you're less than 500 feet on takeoff, you can get down in less than 500 feet on the landing. 32 knots, stall dirty, 39 clean. Very stable all the way down to the stall. It's actually more of a mush. It's got an MS-316 airfoil at the root and 313 at the tip with a little bit of a taper. And originally I thought it might have a little bit of a clip to it, but it's extremely docile all the way into the stall, which impressed me. The VA is in the high 80s, so it's fast enough to keep going even in turbulence. The flap speed is a little higher than I had seen before in LSA aircraft with 75 knots. VC, the continuous power cruise, at 5,500 RPM, I'm seeing about 114 to 116 depending on conditions. So it's not quite the 120, but we need to stay below it. I could pitch the prop just a little bit and I would be there, but I like 800 feet per minute in a flight school environment. So in order to get 800 to 1,000 feet per minute, I give up 2 or 3 knots on the top end, and these guys are doing cross countries and building time anyway. So.
What kind of power plant?
It's a Rotax 912 ULS. 100 horsepower, tried and true, proven engine. We have 3 aircraft in the flight school right now that have it, and several of them have 1,300 and 1,500 hours on them, trouble-free. As long as you have the proper staff to maintain them, they've been excellent training aircraft engines.
And so what kind of fuel economy?
In the training environment, we're actually seeing a little less than published. The training environment, we're seeing in the low 3s to mid 3s per hour, 3.1, 3.3 gallons an hour. Cruise 4.6 to 5.3, depending on how you're managing your power. You can always go faster, just burn more. But it's the difference between low cruise and high cruise is really only 2 gallons an hour. So it's not like it's a huge expense to go fast when you want to.
Tell us about the customers that you've had come through the door already. Who is interested in this airplane?
We've had 2 types. We have, of course, the normal customer we're used to with LSA, where they are either losing a medical, worried about a medical, not wanting to do the medical anymore. What they're referring to as stepping down to a light sport aircraft. And then we have another group of guys that are getting their privates license, but they're doing it in the light sports, and they're buying a light sport. These are the guys that are driving up in the nice cars, and they're used to nice things, and they're professionals, and they like that type of thing around them. And again, going back to the analogy of Milan Bristela, the designer, it's a sports car. I guess there is 1/3 kind of student that we're seeing, or buyer, and that's the non-flyer. That's the one that most excites me, because there are more of them than any other type of buyer. And if we can get them interested and let them know that, yes, this is the best one for them to learn to fly and to keep as a cross-country traveler. It should serve them well, and it will also do us a great deal of good.
Barry Pruitt, thanks for spending some time with us on Aero-TV.
Thank you, sir.